Welcome to the City of Frost and Fire. Discover the authentic stories of the extraordinary people that define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo. This is the Fargo Five. We've got Brenn Bron, the director of programs at the Chamber of Morehead, Fargo, Morehead, and West Fargo. That's a mouthful there. Hello, Brin.
Hello, Conrad. Thanks for having me.
So, Brin, you were telling me this is your first job where they call you Brin.
This is my first job.
Your real name. I don't mean to unmask you on live radio here, but your real name is Brianna.
It is Brianna.
Is that a secret, or is that
not a secret? I think I truthfully was not called Brianna a lot growing up.
Okay.
My mom always had a nickname for me. So
and did it change a lot, or it was always Brin?
It was always Brin. And then
That's strange.
Yeah, my friends heard her call me Brin, and then it just kind of took off from there.
My sister's name is Brianna.
Yeah.
So and we called her Bree.
Yes.
In fact, I think her email I set up for her is breebk
Yep.
at whatevermail.com. So, but Brin, that's a different one. And you switched that for this new job that you have. How long have you been at the Chamber?
I'm actually coming up on 2 years this week.
2 years. And so when you applied, did you put Brianna on the application and then you just showed up and you're like, hey, everybody, I'm Brianna?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously I use Brianna, real name, but my husband was connected to the Chamber and he'd always refer to me as Brin. So then my supervisor was like, wait, are you Brianna, Brin? What do you prefer to go by? So then I just started to prefer to go by Brin. So then we just kind of went with it.
So in The Office, you know that TV show The Office, there was Andy, and then he went to anger management, and he came back, and he said, hey, guys, I'm Drew. And everybody refused to call him Drew, because Andy is short for Andrew, so you can go to Drew. Is this kind of like that? Were you spending time like in a facility?
I wasn't. I mean, I was a public school teacher, so maybe I just needed to rebrand myself.
You were a public school? For how long were you?
I taught for 5 years. So 1 year at Morehead High, and then 4 at an elementary school in Morehead.
Okay, so it spud the whole time through.
I spud through and
so
through.
You were a high school teacher, and you said, forget that, I want elementary? How did that change come about?
It really just happened as there wasn't openings at the high school anymore, so then they shifted me to elementary.
Okay. Yeah. Well, gosh, teaching has got to be, and that was coming up like... my daughter is going into kindergarten, and she starts tomorrow, and she is getting at an age where she's starting to ask these questions like, what is a volcano, and why do I have hair? And, I know a lot of things, and I can answer those questions. I don't think her kindergarten teacher can. Maybe. I don't know that that it's a lot of common knowledge, but I guess a kindergarten teacher doesn't have to, but a high school teacher would have to, right? You need to be equipped or not? I guess...
mean, you have to be equipped. I was in a very specialized field, so I did special education, so I wasn't doing history or... So
those are like children with disabilities.
Correct,
and developmental disabilities.
Yep.
Okay. And so, I suppose rather than teaching, it's probably a whole other ball of wax with different challenges.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm more well-versed in different strategies and resources to help students just learn differently. And
so was that the first job that you got out of college? That's what you went to college for?
It is what I went to college for, yep.
Okay. And so you did that for 5 years, and that was right before you came to the Chamber.
It was, yeah.
So what facilitated that change? What was the kernel that was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm done with teaching?
I think that's a great question. It's hard to look back and just think of one moment. I think personally, my strength is empathy, but it's also my Achilles heel.
I see.
So it was really hard to keep the school at school.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of impacting my quality of life.
No, and you bring up, so, and I say this all the time, actually, so you watch TV shows or movies, and it's often like a superpower. The super character, you ever see Heroes on NBC, where his power is he can feel what they can feel, and that, makes him, and so he's this really sweet, nice guy. I always said that people with true empathy probably end up being kind of jerks.
Yeah. It's exhausting, right?
It's exhausting because we all suffer. Every human being is suffering. And so if you're really walking around capable of feeling everybody's suffering, I imagine you'd get numb to it quickly enough.
Yeah. It's beautiful strength, too, that helps you build really strong relationships and really be able to kind of get on that student's level and help them grow.
Yeah.
But like I said, you kind of absorb their emotions. So that was a lot for me.
When special education, there must be a lot of frustration the students must have.
Yeah, definitely. You have some low lows, but you also have some high highs, just like any job.
What a roller coaster.
But yeah, so I was kind of at this point in my career where I was like, I've been doing this for 5 years. Why don't we try something new? I know teaching will always be there if I choose to go back to that at any point. But yeah, so I just kind of took a risk on myself.
Well, and so did you start looking for jobs, or this came to you, or what happened that you made this jump? You said your husband was already involved with the chamber.
Yeah, so my husband was an ambassador with the chamber. And
what is that?
So he is kind of like a chamber member. Each chamber member, they can get involved in different programs, such as the programs I lead or the ambassadors program, and they go to ribbon cuttings of new businesses, and they kind of help support those new businesses.
Okay.
Take ownership and kind of really utilize their chamber membership.
That's his position within the chamber. But
that's what he did. It's like a volunteer position.
Yeah,
it's like a
committee. In the chamber, and so he has a job. He has like a job, or even probably a business, or does he work for someone?
Yeah, he has a job. Yep.
Okay.
So he works at the Bank of North Dakota.
Sure, BND. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and they put him up as an ambassador, or he became one on his own volition.
He became one on his own at his previous role. So he did that for a while, and then...
Because he was probably in a sales position back then.
Yeah, so business development, yep. Yeah, so, but yeah. And he was really connected with the different people. He had actually worked with a couple prior at a previous role, too, so he knew them well. And he was always in my ear that I should work at the chamber, and I was like, I don't even know what that is, right?
So he was lobbying for a long time. How long was he lobbying for that? So like you, for how many years?
Not too many years.
Okay.
So it was like the year I decided to leave. It was like in March, I think.
So it's not like there was one specific opening. Just he had been interacting with the chamber, and he was like, "You're gonna get involved with these guys."
Yeah, I think he saw it as a good opportunity to like get out of the education world, because sometimes education and business are very separate, right?
Yeah.
They don't intermingle a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So just a really good way to get ingrained in our community and see everything that's going on and be a part of that. But yeah, so he just introduced me to the person that he used to work with, and they were talking about different openings they had. And one that sounded interesting was director of programs.
And that's where you're at.
And that's where I'm at, yeah.
Okay.
So it really...
you're a director right out the gates.
No, it wasn't. It's had a title change quite a few times.
Okay.
I think the first one was just program manager. Then it went to talent development, director of talent development, and now we've landed on director of programs.
Wow. Having a job sounds wild.
It is. It is a wild ride.
I haven't had one for like 13 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fun. But honestly, the title has changed, but the role is very similar still. So...
Yeah. And what is that role? So tell me exactly, like what is it that you do there?
What do I do?
You direct the programs, obviously.
I direct the programs. So I get to work with our Young Professionals Network, our Women Connect programming, and then our Chamber Impact Day. So really, I get to work with the people that are involved in these programs as committees and volunteers, and kind of move the needle forward on our programs and provide resources to the community of people who are in Young Professionals or people who get fulfillment from our Women Connect programming. But yeah.
So you're like the one who's putting together all the networking groups.
Not all the networking
You're like
groups.
the networking group. Okay, so tell me again then. I saw it because I don't know that I have
I
in my head.
do some networking groups. Yeah, right.
Well, what you just said were all chamber networking groups.
I would say yes, they're chamber networking groups, but there's also programming within them, right?
I don't. So what? No. What's the difference between a networking
programming is
group?
like content, right? So I think of like Women Connect. You have the ability to network at Women Connect. However, there's going to be a speaker, a workshop. You're developing opportunities or resources for people to take away and implement in their day-to-day life or their professional life, right?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, so that's like the programming
portion of it.
Of the networking event. And they're all like events that have networking.
They all have, I think any event has networking, right?
Yeah. Huh. Oh, man.
Portion?
This is getting into be really interesting. What is networking, man?
Right.
You know,
it's
like
just meeting new people and learning about them, right?
Well, right, and like even when I go to church on Sundays, that's a networking event too, isn't it?
But they don't market it as networking. There's still a program, right? A sermon you're going to learn from. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're almost like the person putting together the sermon for the chamber.
Yeah.
We need a new title for you.
No.
Another title change.
No way. That seems like too much writing for me.
So we have coming up, and that's going to be our next segment, the Chamber Impact Day. This is your program that you directed?
Yeah. So
neat. It's in the next segment, so I don't tell it. It's called teasing. So because they're watching it on Facebook, right? And they're like, "Do I want to watch the next clip? I don't know." And like the little thing is coming up, and there's my face here, and there's like two little things, and they're like, "I don't know. Should I click the thing or should I?" Blah, 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 blah. Stay, click the thing. Fargo Fun coming up next, right after this intermission. So don't go nowhere.